Welcome back to Your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Laura James, filling in for Abby Peel. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan group that is dedicated to a well-informed public. And they recently hosted our local representatives for an update on their New Hampshire House activities. Today we hear from Sunapee's Linda Tanner.
What I have been doing this last term is that I've worked with actually a bipartisan bill, and also some of you may know B.B. Casey. She helped also from the constituent. Hi, B.B. But we were concerned about reading and dyslexia, and some bills were coming through, and Karen also. And I feel very proud that we were able to pass a bill that increased testing for dyslexia in lower grades, and also offered that parents would have some sort of interventions and how to deal with it as the prescriptive reading would go on from there. So that was a big win for me. We worked long and hard on that bill. We also had a bill that last year started, and it was brought to us by a young man in, I think he was in 8th or 9th grade, who was very concerned with eating disorders and had done a lot of research and had decided that students needed on the back of their cards a eating disorder number. And again, I worked with Hope a lot on that one, and we finally got that through. And Matthew is just the neatest little kid, and he's now in like 10th or 11th grade, and he's grown all up and raring to go in government, so that's good. Another big bill this year for us was school lunch programs. We're trying to get free school lunch and extend it to breakfast for all kids. And it really, it was kind of the Feed the Kids bill. And one person on our committee, Art Ellison, who got very ill this past year, was like the champion of it. So we were really fighting for Art on Art's bill, and he used to say, "Feed the damn kids." So that was our cry. My personal bills this year, I put in a couple of bills about the state education governance, about the state school board, trying to make it more open to different people being on the state school board, and also to have a student on the state school board. They're a pretty closed group, and not many people can get to their meetings, and they don't often tape them, and it's been kind of a tough year, but that kind of went down in flames, but I'll stick with it and try to rework it and come back with it. But my biggest probably effort this year was every time I went anywhere in Sunapee, I kept hearing, "You've got to do something about the wake surfing on the lake." And Sue Gottling had done some work on it before, and she said to me, "Don't do it, don't do it. It's a bee's nest." And I said, "Well, I'm going to take it on, and we'll see what happens," because I think a lot of people were very concerned, and it certainly is a tough thing to do regulations, but it's also, if they're very necessary, it's something you have to do. And Dan Wolf helped out on that. In fact, we're going down tomorrow in his committee, where the Senate bill, my bill failed in the House, but the Senate also created a bill in very similar, but had some changes, and that's coming down through. So tomorrow we'll be down at the State House along with Elizabeth Harper from Lake Sunapee Protective Association presenting that bill. And I forget who said it, but you spend a lot, I think it was Dan, when he goes home to his wife, but it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sometimes it seemed like we had about 120 bills in education, and that was the most of any committee ever in the House of Education. And we are in the middle of culture wars in education. I think most people realize that. And so it's trying to pass the good bills, like the dyslexia bill and the free lunch bill. It's trying to stop some of the bad bills, like banning books for kids, and then just sitting there and listening and try to shove off some of the the more ugly ones that come through and survive it all. So that's what I've been doing for the last term here. So.
Thank you, Linda. When we return, I'll be continuing our series on funeral pre-planning with Marion Hafner. But first, here's another business that helps us keep your Yankee Chronicle coming to you.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge-Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.